All right, guys, welcome back to the Fighters Eye podcast. Today's guest is top ranked UFC or not UFC bare knuckle contender, light heavyweight contender Jay Jackson. How are you today, sir?
Good. Am I still on there?
Yeah, you're good. It says Jay
Do you,
Jackson right there.
do you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you.
All right, cool. All right, hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How are you?
Oh man, I'm chilling, man. I just came back from the track, so my legs are taxed. So I'm stretched out a little bit, just hanging out, man.
Yeah, you got a fight coming up?
No, I just kind of stay ready. I just try to keep myself. I don't like train peak
Yeah,
during the fight life or whatnot. But I just try to keep myself at maintenance. You know what I mean? So I try to make sure I can still hit a sprint, you know.
yeah, because I know you fought. I believe May 24th, like late May. I believe it might have been May
May
14th,
1st. May
May
1st.
1st, May
Yeah.
1st. I know you fought in May against Jomi Escoboza.
Yeah,
How did
Jomi Expos.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
weird name, not gonna lie.
Right, me too. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. You know how bad I fucking had to say that name during interviews. But shit, I hope you didn't hate me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the fight didn't go your way. Did the fight play out differently than how you thought it would play out, or like what do you feel like went wrong?
I just wish I would have had like another, yeah, I got started over a minor cut. Uh, and so I didn't like that, and I wish I would have just got my rounds. One thing about fights that suck, uh, people forget that it's still sport.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not, I got every excuse in a book about why that fight went wrong. I can tell you this right now, I was ready and everything like that, but like I said, I'm not going to put my excuses on record right now or whatnot, but just know that I got a lot more in me. I just wish they would have gave me my fourth and fifth round. It was a minor cut and I was still ready to go, but I can't help that
Yeah,
when they decide to do that, but yeah, it was, sloppy couple rounds, I think that shit happens a lot in sports. And I just wish I would have got my full fight. That's kind of where I leave that fight at. you know um I accept it, and it's just, it is what it is. On to the next.
yeah, because I know. I mean, I feel like in bare knuckle, these people should be expecting that the fighters are gonna get cut. I mean, you have pretty much cloth or like like
Not
gauze
even.
tape.
Not even, bro. You got your knuckles, and then you got the life. You like you were just saying. You got the tape and the goals and shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's yeah, like I said, the first two rounds weren't really going my way. I felt like I was finally warming up in the third. Even like I said, the fight was what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wish I would have got my fourth and fifth round. I would have wish I had my full fight, and I would have, I would accept, who was winner or loser in that fight. But I got my three. They stopped it over the cut, and it is what it is. And we just, I've just been, like I said, I just came back from the track, so I'm just trying to make sure that I stay ready and keep myself at maintenance and keep, while I'm preparing for whatever's next.
Yeah, I was talking with Alvin Brito about this. You guys are some crazy ass people. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could never get in. Like me personally, I box. I could never do that bare knuckle. It's just like looking at someone's bare knuckle fist, knowing I'm gonna get hit with it. It's like, man, I'm all right. Like, I'm cool without it.
It's just cuts, bro. Yeah, 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 I'm in the sport. I respect the sport. I want, but never discourage yourself, man. It's just knuckles. It's just cuts. Every time I tell people I do bare knuckle and we have that conversation, I say it's just tattoos. If you ever get a tattoo, it's just, it's just cuts.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I know you did MMA before. What do you feel like is more painful in the fights? Like getting hit wise? Is it getting punched with the MMA glove? Is it probably the bare knuckle fist?
Um, I don't know, man. MMA, like the punch is padding,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying it's softer, but you know, it's like okay, so I let's put it this way. You play dodgeball, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ever been hit in the face by a dodgeball?
Yeah.
MMA. And then like, but with bare knuckle, it's like it depends on the guy's fist. It can be like getting hit in the face with a rock, or it can feel like getting hit in the face by a hard snowball. Yeah, I
It
ain't
just
like
it just
that's
depends.
just like that's kind of like the comparison, like with MMA, it's a dodgeball and it smacks, but like I've been rocked by rocks and by snowballs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where bare knuckle kind of feels like, if guy can't punch, it's a snowball, but if guys got a little bit heavy hands, what I mean, it's more like a rock, but it's mainly the cuts that kind of suck when it comes to bare knuckle punches compared to MMA because like you're gonna get cut if you fight bare knuckle. And with uh with MMA, there's that little gray area where the cuts don't start, or like you get hit with an elbow,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you see a lot of cuts in MMA and stuff like that. And that's bare, that's bone on flesh, so
What do you feel like Escobar was hit with? Was it like he hit like a rock or a hard snowball?
uh hey, man, you gonna get me in trouble. I'll say it was like I don't know. It was like in between the dodgeball and the snowball. It
I
wasn't a
feel
rock.
yeah, it
It
was a
wasn't a
rock.
rock. I mean, a rock knocks you out, man. It was more like it was annoying. You know, it was like pepper shots. And because he had a pepper jab.
Mm-hmm.
Pepper. So annoying. But yeah, it was pepper. I mean, so I say in between like the dodgeball and the snowball. Whatever's in between that.
Yeah. I feel like you need to start saying this in one of your interviews. You need to start saying this dodgeball thing because I feel like it could actually get into people's heads. Like, I don't hit like a dodgeball.
Yeah, I mean, because this is, I get, I talk about this stuff all the time, because like the bare knuckle thing is it's interesting, because
Mm-hmm.
you're hitting someone with a bare fist, and you got to be a little funny, about it,
Yeah.
they're going in that ring calm about it, you got to be a little, it's got to be fun. um, as dangerous as it is, but that's probably like, every time someone asks me the comparison of it, I was like, that's kind of like those three: a dodgeball, a rock, and a really in a snowball. I'm from up north,
Mm-hmm.
like I lived in Michigan, so
Yeah.
I had my fair share of snowball fights, like for real, and like yeah, if you pack that bitch up right, you make that snow hard as fuck and pounce
Yeah.
on with it. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like bare knuckle is really growing as a sport right now. Obviously, yesterday during the championship press conference. I don't know what they called it, but with all the champions at that press conference yesterday, they announced that Yoel Romero has signed with Bare Knuckle, and then they announced that Thiago Santos and Derek Brunson, two other big MMA names, have signed with Bare Knuckle. What do you think that does for Bare Knuckle? Do you think that just helps grow the sport and help grow the name value at the end of the day? Signing people with, that have fought John Jones. I mean, Thiago Santos fought John Jones. Yoel Romero and Derek Brunson have fought some big guys in the UFC. How do you feel like they were doing bare knuckle, and how do you feel like it helps grow the sport?
I know all those names. Bronson,
Mm,
Guerrero. I mean, okay, I probably don't know how to say them, but you got Santos and everything like that, and uh, you can only hope. Bare knuckles its own sport,
mm-hmm.
and we've seen a lot of UFC fighters jump in thinking the same thing that I think. It's just hands, it's easy, and then you get hit by that snowball.
Mm-hmm.
So snowball, rock, or dodgeball. and it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not impressed. I just hope that it does benefit the company, and I hope that it we and I think it smells like some of those guys are in my weight class. So just it's an add on to the grocery list. Yeah, I mean, like,
Hmm.
hey, cool, we got some new meat and opportunity. So I smell opportunity. I smell opportunities for myself with those three names, and just hope that maybe my names in that in the lottery box to fight one of those guys. I'm someone who loves to fight. As you see in the press conference, a lot of emotions,
Hmm.
a lot of them. But I really fight for fun, and I'm just happy to be in the level of uh the hype of all this madness that we got to
Yeah.
see last night. I was just watching that we uh before we got on, and we got new meat. That means new opportunity, and hopefully, down the line, if there's somewhere, if there's some room for some J Action Jackson in those names, I'm down the train, and to put on a good show, and try to continue to grow the fat no the fastest growing sport in the world right now. So
I feel like you versus Derek Brunson. That should
that'd
happen.
be dope. That'd be
You
dope.
versus Derek Brunson, like
That'd
headline
be
in a
dope.
card. That would be
That
dope,
we
man.
that we do,
I mean,
like you see my excitement. I mean, like, because I like, bro, like I like, 'cause, I fought on Denver. I fought on Denver with Mike Perry and Luke Rockhold. So
oh man, jeez,
so
Mike
like,
Perry did go. Mike Perry's
so it's
good.
like and that's cool to be part of shit like that, man. So like it's nice that even in my history line, I got I shared a card with Chad Mendez,
Yeah.
and Beck Rollins and Ben Rothwell. I hate to, I know I'm in the game, but my thing is, these are guys that I looked up, that I was looking up and watching, when I was watching these guys growing up. And then, growing up to share a card for these guys. So, that, Jay Jackson versus Derek, Blonde Bomber, Bronson. I
Yeah.
think
I
I
mean,
seen him at the Denver card too. I
yeah.
think I did. I think he was there, and because that card was stacked, had a bunch of UFC fighters there. So I mean, hey man, that'll be a beautiful headliner for me, if I, if that opportunity opens up. But I'm also someone that's patient, and I
Hmm.
chill, and when the phone rings, when the phone ring and they email the contracts, and hopefully the right names on there, I sign that bad boy and get ready. But right now, just stay prepped for that, and I hope, like I said, I hope that helps to, I think it's going to help grow the sport, and I hope it does. You know what I mean? I tearing down the company ain't gonna raise my checks. I need the
Yeah.
company to come up, and I guess got to be confident that the decisions that they make is gonna be the best for the company.
Yeah. I mean, I would have said you versus Yoel Romero, but it's looking like it's gonna be Perry versus Romero. I don't know. Something's telling me that it's gonna be Perry versus Romero, which,
Eh, I mean, maybe they got. I hope they got Lawler.
dude, if they
I
did, if they did,
mm,
that'd be legendary.
God, if they got Lawler. That's what I mean. Like, I love Lawler's. I think Lawler and Perry style just makes really well. But I mean, but bare knuckles its own sport. So
Hmm.
like I don't, you know, and that's what that's me as my fan favorite in my heart is definitely Perry and Lawler. Like it's almost like when John Jones fought Stipe. I was one of the fans that was disappointed about John Jones and Francis. I mean, like I'm that guy. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm like, man, I really wanted that, and we
Hey,
didn't get it, but we might.
we didn't even get John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. We need that too.
And
What's
like,
up with this
shoot,
man?
we need Francis. Like,
Do we do need Francis? You're right. We
we
do
need
need
Francis.
Francis.
We
We
need
should have had
Francis too.
Francis.
We need
We should
Francis
have.
too.
And I would pick
We should
Francis
have
to
got
beat John.
Francis. John Jones versus Francis, man. I really was looking forward to that. But hey, man, never say never. John Jones is back in the pool. And John Jones versus Tom might have it at the White House. That sounds, UK versus the United States at the White House, Revolutionary
Hey,
War Part Two. Come on, boy.
Tom
Like, come
Aspinall
on,
got
man.
that all day.
Like, come on. See, like, this, we got fun stuff in the future, and like I said, bare knuckles just growing. So, like I said, like it's, look forward to it, enjoy the show.
Hey, Dana White, if you're listening, bring me and Jay Jackson to the White House card, man.
You're right.
Bring
Give,
us. We're ready.
give me some tickets, man. I'll meet Trump. What I mean? I'll chill
I'll
out. I
meet
mean,
Trump too. I love Trump. I'll meet him.
have, have some McDonald's with him. I know he like McDonald's. I like McDonald's.
So do I. Yeah, bro.
You
This
know,
works.
I fucks with McDonald's, man. So like, I get it.
I mean, yeah, we brought up Mike Perry earlier. Him and Dave Mondell got some beef.
Some
Um,
heat. Yeah.
me and Dave Mondell also have some beef. Um,
Oh, really? Why you got beef with
all right.
Mondale, man?
So hopefully I don't get in trouble with nobody. But basically, I did an interview with Mondale back in like December, and he came and sparred one of my teammates, and I think you've seen the clip probably
You talking about
of
Frankie?
yep.
Dude, I love Frank. See, I love Frankie. I got the spot. I train with Frankie.
Yeah, yeah, so that happened. Ain't nobody saying nothing rude about him, but Munda was in some comment section like clowning Frank, like, cause I said as a joke like you versus Frank would be dope, and he was like Frank not on my level, and it was hella disrespectful. So for him and Frank and me all started beefing at like it was at like 5 in the morning. We're on Instagram talking crap at each other. It was a whole thing, and then it got brought up yesterday at the press conference. Mike Perry brought it up, and me and Frank kind of had a field day with it. So that's kind of what happened. But Dave Mondo blocked us both, so he don't like us.
I know Frankie talented, man. I respect Frankie.
Frank's so
I
good.
got Yeah, I do. I got to spar him a little bit, and just really cool dude. And Mondale don't really. I know him from a distance. We be at shows together, and yeah, I got no. I'm Switzerland with all this shit, bro. Like, I just,
Yeah.
I do yoga, man. Like, I like sandwiches. Like,
Yeah.
like real shit. So like Mondale, he when look, so once I started getting settled in Florida a little bit more, I invited him to tryouts because I got to host tryouts in Hudson, and I mean, like, I wanted, I just wanted him to bring the belt. I fought a few of his teammates, so so there should be beef, but there's not. I mean, I had a great performance with Terry. I fought Jarrett Warren, and came up short, whatnot. But Jarrett Warren has turned, did his thing, and I've turned around, and I'm still continuing to do my lift up. So I
Hmm.
do respect his team and coaches and stuff like that. But Mondale's just trying to get paid. I mean, I think he's just trying to put respect on the belt. And he did, he's the champ. And then, Mike Perry, he Mike Perry. You know what I mean? And Mike Perry, he's undefeated in bare knuckle. He brings viewerships. He's from Flint, Michigan. Yeah, I don't know if he was born there or whatnot or whatever, but he's from Flint. And I used to live in Bay City, Michigan, so they love him up there. And you know, uh, I'm just like, hey man, they miss you up there, Mike. I mean, they love you, they love him up there, and they respect what he does. So, just if Mike and Mike and Mondell, should happen. I think it should happen. Uh, for the to give Mike a legit belt in one of the weight classes, I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Uh, I also think it's a weight thing. I mean, I think it's a weight thing also.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
Mondo's a bit bigger than him. I
you're
think.
right. No, I think it's just like I don't think anyone wants to. Weight cut sucks, bro. I hate
Yeah.
cut weight, man. So like it might be a weight thing,
I
but
think it
yeah,
is a weight thing. I know that's what they were saying before. It's
right.
like,
Like that's what they were talking about yesterday. It might be a
yeah.
weight thing, but. And then plus, it's also about status. When Mike's pretty high up there right now,
Yeah,
and he's got a little bit of authority to pick and choose, what he wants to do or whatnot in BKFC. But hey, I'd be down to see Mike Perry versus Dave Mondell. Real talk, man. You know, I I think Dave's evolved a little bit, past their MMA days. But at the same time, though, when you got clips of sparring coming out, like welcome to that, But hey, it is what
yeah. I
it
mean,
is. It is what it is.
it
I mean?
is what it
Hey,
is. It's not like
if it happens, if it
yeah,
happens,
like
I'm tuning in, man. I'll tune into that.
and yeah, and Mundo, I believe is the number one pound for pound rank. So I don't got nothing against him. He's good at bare knuckle. It's just Frank's just better at Frank's just better. That's all it is. And that's
Frank got some talent. I ain't gonna lie. I had a good time with him, man. We sparred some rounds and we had a good time, man. Like, definitely respect some Frankie, man. Real talk. And hopefully I get to train with him again soon. Once I get done with my projects.
yeah. Frank was meant to fight today in Clearwater, but his opponent no showed.
Yeah, I
So
seen that. Excuse me, I
yeah,
didn't mean to interrupt you, but I seen that.
no, it's all good. To him, dang, I was gonna go too, but it's all good. Frank's gonna fight again in Tampa soon. I hope. I hope. I hope. I hope, man. I've been
Yeah.
waiting.
Well, I mean, we'll see, man. Like I said, dude. He's if he stays around the right people, we'll see. He'll be in there.
Yeah. What do you feel like the growth of bare knuckle is like overall since it first started? Like, do you think it could potentially pass something like Glory Kickboxing or MMA or the boxing in terms of like excitement for the fans? Like just wanting to watch the product more than boxing because I know sometimes boxing can be a little bit weird.
To be honest, I think it's already over a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of glory in kickboxing. I think kickboxing is still in a growing state, and
Hmm.
kickboxing's always been in a growing state. It seems that it just always is trying to grow. I was a big fan of Glory.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of Glory, but it's just for some reason there's always a halt for kickboxing. So I mean, I think bare knuckles is in the right direction. I think we got a lot of superstars. We have a lot of dedicated fighters and that love the sport, and promote the sport. I try to promote the sport as much as I can. So I think it's on the right route. I mean, I hate betting. I'm not a betting man, but I think it's in the right route.
yeah. I'm friends with your friend Roman. I don't know his last name, but I think you know I'm talking about
Talking
Roman.
about Roro, yeah, you talking about Roro. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, the only bare knuckle fight I've only watched is Bryce Hall's bare knuckle debut. That's the only fight I ever watched, but Roman was like, you need to start watching it like for real. So I think this weekend, I'm gonna start. I don't know if there's a card this weekend, but if there is, I'm gonna watch it because I
yeah,
think this
fuck it,
is cool. I
fuck
think it's
with it.
cool.
Miami on there. Yeah, you got Miami this weekend, man. We got a stat card on my for the Miami card, so definitely check that shit out, man. Check Baronoff was so good, and check out some of my fights too, Nick.
I got you.
Dog, yeah, like motherfucker, you better be checking out my fights, interviewing me and not knowing my fights. I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you. But now, definitely check out my fights too. Like I said, I try to put on a good show.
Yeah,
And and train. I train really hard for them, So yeah, definitely, man. Beardo was so fun, dude. It's so fun, and it's so fast paced, dude. You know, uh, excuse my language on women, but the bitches they fight. You know,
yeah,
we got some tough bitches.
yeah.
Like even in MMA, it's always the women fights that show out. I mean, so but in bare knuckle, we got bitches. So, and they be killing that shit. So, you know, uh, so yeah, overall, dude, bare knuckles is way it's just way funner, way faster, and you get to the point.
Man, you guys need to come to Tampa. We need Jay Jackson versus Derek Brunson in Tampa. That's
In
what we
Tampa,
need,
in Tampa.
man.
Oh my God, dude, that'd be so sick. Like I said, oh, you are you in Tampa?
Yeah, I live in Tampa. Yeah.
Word. Okay, I was in Newport, man. I was in Newport Rich. And yeah, what I mean, I know your land, dog. Yeah, I mean, and Tampa got to fight, bro. I love Tampa. But right now I'm in Atlanta. I'm doing some stuff here in Atlanta right now. A, I'm recovering. Number two, I'm dabbling in a couple projects, and I did a seminar on
Mm-hmm.
the ninth here. Just doing me. But yeah, man, Tampa. I love Tampa, dude.
Man, you need to talk to Dave Freeman. Be like, yeah, we need to come back to Tampa, man. See what
Yeah,
he
man,
says.
good. Come back. Yeah, shoot, man. Florida's the home base, man.
Florida's cool.
They in Hollywood. They in Hollywood this weekend. So and then we had Clearwater. We had that fight in Clearwater in May. So I believe I think I'm hearing some clicks for some more Tampa and some more Florida fights this year. So
Hey,
we'll
man.
see, man.
We need Jay Jackson on the card.
Oh, dude, you already know.
And
I'm gonna
Elvin
do
Brito.
my work. I'm gonna break fireworks, man.
All right, man. We can wrap it up with one last question because I don't want to take too much of your time. But do you have a
No, man.
message? Do you have a message for all your fans and supporters that have followed you throughout your MMA career into your bare knuckle career, and like what can we expect from you in the rest of 2025?
Oh man, just watch it. Man. They everyone knows I work hard. Everyone knows I train all the time. I'm obsessed. So I'm just trying to keep myself obsessed and just stay ready for anything. I always try to bring the fire every time I'm in the ring. Ups and downs happen, you know what I mean, but I'm always ready to do it. So, thank you for everyone that's ever supported me, and I hope I get new supporters after this interview and let's just get ready, man. LFG.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you, man. This is probably one of my favorite interviews I've done, man. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. We got to do it again
Oh,
soon.
oh yeah, all day, man. Shit, just let me know, bro. Thank you for having me, dog.
All right, man. I appreciate your time.
All right, dog.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.